A very good morning and welcome to a glorious Oslo Holmenkollen day for the women's 30-kilometer classic finale for the 2015 Nordic cross-country season. 63 competitors under starters orders. Marit Bjørgen and Teresa Johaug, the two favorites as they get away. Marit Bjørgen, center of the echelon, wearing the yellow Wiesmann bib as the overall World Cup leader as they come out on the first of their journeys. 8,385 meters, the loops, and they do that 3 times. And that 8,000 meters is made up of a 5-kilometer loop and also a 3,300-kilometer loop. And they pour away a really good crowd, perhaps not quite so big as it was for the men's 50. But the Norwegians, particularly in the women's division, have been utterly dominant this season. So Marit Bjørgen up there early, and in this race over 30,000 meters in classic style, you can, in freestyle I should say, you can see that these women are really bunched together with just one opportunity to change their skis, and 4 sprints also included in the cross-country journey. The men, of course, racing classic yesterday, the women skating today. Of course, the World Championships just recently in Falun, that was contested in classic stride and glide. And up they come, this very demanding terrain, 5 major climbs on each of these loops, and overall these women climbing some 194 meters on each of the 5-kilometer loops and 319 meters overall in the 8,300 meter journey that they do 3 times to make up the 30,000 meters. The bookmakers this morning, they virtually made Bjørgen and Johaug the joint favorites. Johaug just the skinnier of the two in terms of odds. And of course the sprint will come up on the first leg, the first of the 4 legs that they undertake. And that will be at Frognersettan. And that, of course, for the bonus that they build up throughout the season. So there is Marit Bjørgen on the right of your picture. To the left there, that's 8 for the United States. Elizabeth Stephen well to the 4. Also up there, 10. Kerttu Niskanen, who's got a good record in these races, as they drop down here, picking up speed. And Norway with the prospect of actually finishing in the top 6 places there, women, in the overall World Cup, and that's never been done before. They've had the top 4 positions but never the top 6. So a really strong start here by Bjørgen. 2, Teresa Johaug there. 3, that's Heidi Weng. Right behind 6, that's Charlotte Kalla for Sweden. And you can see already the breakaway. And this is going to be a very strong pace. Not that she would have necessarily taken part, but Justina Kowalczyk not in the field. She, of course, won the Vasaloppet last weekend and is very much focusing on the Swiss Tour for the remainder of the season. But this is a fantastic amount of early pace here by Marit Bjørgen and Teresa Johaug. And you can see what they've done to the field in the first couple of kilometers. Well, not even that, 1.8 kilometer, and the pace is really going in here. Heidi Weng, Teresa Johaug, as they swing back into the stadium. And 1.8 kilometers Also in that lineup is Denise Herrmann, just every picture to the right there in the German black and orange suit. You can see just behind Marit Bjørgen, 11 up there. That's Astrid Jakobsen, who's had, I think, a terrific season. 7 just off the pace, Steffi Böhler. 26 on the near side going through. That's Sophie Bleckor, who's also got good form over this distance of 30,000 meters. And of course, Marit Bjørgen, the Olympic champion over 30 kilometers freestyle. And so working their way out of the stadium. The next time split we get is 2.7 kilometers. Just to confirm that Natalia Matveeva has not started the race. So Bjørgen, Johaug almost shoulder to shoulder, and 1 or 2 more have joined on to that front group. There's a real demand, huge pace put in there. 7, Steffi Böhler trying to connect there from the back. 39, that's Silja Slind, also for Norway, trying to join in. And Marit Bjørgen very much in line to win the overall, the sprint, which she's already secured, and the distance World Cup. She's got more than 100 points. She can't really be caught, but the bonuses could just make a difference here if Johaug can get lots of bonus points. So that mathematically is still open, but you'd still favour Bjørgen to wrap up all the titles for the season. 9 just at the back of there, Martine Ekhagen. Martine, who was 12th in the recent World Championships in classic style, and Theresa Johaug there, far side, Heidi Weng. Heidi Weng, who was 8th in the Falun World Championships, but of course again that was freestyle, and there you have the bonus points going through for the opening sprint there. Johaug gaining points on Marit Bjørgen in the first of the sprints, 15 points to the winner, and that's what Johaug has to do if she wants to try to wrestle the distance globe away from Marit Bjørgen. She has to keep making bonuses. So Johaug, Weng, Bjørgen, Kalle, 11, Jakobsen also there with Denise Herrmann. Just off the pace now, and there you have it. Johaug, and Johaug's made 7 points on Marit Bjørgen. So the race just beginning to settle into something like a pattern, and the world champion of 2011, Theresa Johaug, leading the way, and an opportunity for us to just rewind to yesterday to a fantastic men's 50-kilometer race in classic style. Well, in front of His Majesty King Harold, a wonderful roar as they got underway. Martin Jonsrud Sundby wearing the yellow Wiesmann bib, having already secured the overall title. And in the pack, chasing the likes of Shirota, Dario Colonia, leading the distance ranking in the black race suit of Switzerland, wearing the red bib. Martin Jonsrud Sundby, Dolidovic of Belarus also getting into this. They come into towards the finish of the competition. Colonia on the far side, Shirota on the near side. They come to the line, they lunge together, inseparable in terms of time, but it's the boot on the far side there of Shiroto, who's had such a difficult season, who gets the
I got the Tour this year
victory.
too, and I also got the overall. Really happy about that. The world champs went to shit, but that's how things are sometimes. But today I'm so happy for this guy. If people should just know what he's been through the last couple of months, and to be able to come here and win this race, I'm so happy for him.
Martin Jonsrud Sundby for the second season, the overall champion, the distance title going to Dario Colonia, and the sprint earlier in the week to Finn Hågen Krogh of Norway. And now back live here to this women's 30-kilometer freestyle race up here. Marit Bjørgen on the left of your picture. On the right there, Teresa Johaug. Heidi Weng wearing 3. Charlotte Kalla not far off the pace as well. Astrid Jacobsen, the tallest of the Norwegian group there. And Denise Herman just at the back, I think. And Bjørgen, the Olympic champion. Teresa Johaug just covering every move. Johaug, who she was the runner-up to Bjørgen last year in Sochi. 6 away as they come round into the stadium. Just coming up to complete 5 kilometers. Not there as yet, but here getting a drink. Very important. The day pretty chilly overnight, and they didn't resalt the course because they salted it yesterday, and it's pretty hard and compact, and therefore after grooming, very happy to leave it as it was. And Kalla going into the lead there. Charlotte Kalla, of course, the world champion in Falun. Not over this distance, of course, but Charlotte Kalla very capable of actually doing some damage in freestyle over this sort of distance. She was 6th here in 2013. So out they go, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1 or 2 of the athletes have managed to claw back the deficit from that initial sprint. Just a reminder of the winner of the men's Crystal Globe for 2015, Martin Jonsrud Sundby, as he said himself, not a great World Championships, but delighted to have taken this title. Also winning the Tour de Ski, Martin Jonsrud Sundby, so by no means a poor season. And there, Dario Colonia, runner-up in the overall men's rankings, with the likes of Peder Northug in 3rd place. So 5-kilometer positions, and in front at 5 kilometers, Charlotte Kalla, but 10 athletes within 5 seconds. So a big group of athletes here, and still Teresa Johaug on the left of your picture, and that's Jacobsen on the right. And some interesting statistics about 30-kilometer races over the years here in Norway, and between Marit Bjørgen and Teresa Johaug, they've won every single 30-kilometer race here in Oslo since Valentina Shevchenko won back in 2008. Bjørgen winning in 2010, 2012 and 2014. Johaug in 2011 and 2013. And of course 2011 was the World Championship year. And in fact they've won all 8 major international 30-kilometer races since the Olympic Games in Vancouver, when Justina Kowalczyk in classic style won the gold medal, and Bjørgen a winner here over 30 kilometers in the Holmenkollen on no less than 4 occasions, and no other athlete has ever done that. There's 1 or 2 who've done it 3 times, Larissa Lasutina and Yulia Chapalova of Russia 3 times, and of course Johaug would make it 3 if she turns out to be the winner here. So plenty of stats over the years, and as you look at the field there, 5, that's Nicole Fessel. Now, Nicole Fessel didn't start the World Championship Classic 30 in Falun. She was under the weather, so she's got perhaps fresher legs than many in here, and does have a good long-distance record. She was top 10 here in 2013. The last time we had a freestyle race over the 30-kilometer distance, and she was 7th in the World Championships back in 2011 behind Teresa Johaug. She was about 3 minutes off the pace, but Nicole Fessel could play a part here, and she wears bib number 5. You can see her there on the left behind Teresa Johaug. Heidi Weng, wearing 3, is following Astrid Jakobsen on the right-hand file. Marit Bjørgen just behind Nicole Fessel at the moment, and just behind Marit Bjørgen, Martine Ethagen. And 16 going through there, that's Jessica Diggins. Wonderful silver medal for her over 10 kilometers freestyle. And now just beginning to struggle a little bit at the back of the group there, 29 going through, that's Natalie von Siementhal. Natalie, very good junior form this season, and a very promising athlete to look out for in the years to come. Natalie, who arrives here having won the under-23 World Skiathlon title and a bronze medal over 10 kilometers in freestyle skating as well. And absolutely a young woman to watch out for in the seasons to come. Couple of retirements coming up. Celine Brunley, who is going to call it a day, and we think going off to the United States to study, and Claudia Neustadt, great servant to the German team, who in a sense came out of retirement and now is going to retire once again, and to both of them we wish them well. And here you have 7.2 kilometers coming up, and Johaug, you can see how closely they're packed there. Also for America, Caitlin Gregg, a wonderful bronze medal behind Jessica Diggins in the 10-kilometer freestyle World Championships. And what a day. Those were 2 fantastic, the best ever female distance medals for the US women's team. So heading towards 8 kilometers now. 7, Steffi Böhler's lost ground there. 59, looking a little one pace, that's Emily Kristoffersen. Marit Bjørgen, Charlotte Kaller, still Teresa Johaug, happy to do the work out there. This tempo that she sets is really demanding. Marit Bjørgen going after her, sensing that Teresa's just up the pace. Charlotte Kaller going with her, and as they come up here, you just see what's happened there. Marit Bjørgen very alert to it. Charlotte Kaller just caught out a little bit, and Teresa up the climbs here. This is where Marit Bjørgen is also very effective, always has been on those uphills. But Teresa Johaug, with her lightweight, she has such a great power to weight ratio. And there, Kalle breaking away from Heidi Weng. And remember, we haven't even completed 8,000 meters yet, but it's the sprint that they're focusing on. And again, Theresa Johaug looking to gain valuable points over Marit Bjørgen. She was 7 to the good. She could make it 10 here, and she gets the 15 points. And Bjørgen will get 12. And that's where the differentials come into play in respect of the Distance World Cup, because it was 818 points to Marit Bjørgen before the day started and 717 to Theresa Johaug. So in other words, Marit Bjørgen was 101 points ahead. Now, as a result of those two sprints, Theresa Johaug has now got that down below 100 points. Still favours Marit Bjørgen, unless Marit Bjørgen for some reason was to stop or fall out of the race and get absolutely no points. She's still very much the favourite to wrap up all the crystal globes. But Theresa, you've got to give her credit for the strength that she shows. And these three, Charlotte Kalle a little bit away there. And Astrid Jacobsen coming through. Heidi Weng next there, and then Nicole Fessel. Martine Ethagen there wearing 9, and Caitlin Gregg for the United States, that bronze medal, just showing that she can do the distances. One of the great things about Caitlin was she was super in the national championships before the world championships, and she absolutely deserved and earned her place, and then really returned with a bronze medal, which stamped her authority on those national results. 34 years of age, Caitlin Gregg, and well, I wonder whether she can get back into this. She's going to have to ski tremendously fast. Here she comes, Caitlin, just behind Martine Ethagen for Norway. Up front, Charlotte Kalle getting back into this and not letting Theresa Johaug have her own way. And this is very, very strong skiing here by Charlotte Kalle, physically, mentally taking on, and Astrid Jacobsen joining in as well. That's a really good recovery by Jacobsen, who first came to note really in 2007 when she won the Sprint World Championships in classic style. But this season has been a real revelation for her. She's come into this well prepared, and of course a major medalist at the World Championships in Falun. So 4 away at the moment. Faller, of course, a bronze medalist in the team sprint for Norway, but not actually involved in this at the moment. They come through now to complete 10,000 meters, so 1/3 distance covered now. The women's 30 at the World Championships. Johaug the gold, Marit Bjørgen the silver, Kalle the third. And now the gaps really beginning to open up here. 20, 30 seconds. This is very difficult to see these women getting back into the race. Blekur down in 20th place. So 20,000 meters to go at least for the leaders. Johaug up front again. Caitlin Gregg on the near side, member of the Loppet Nordic Racing Club. As I said, in her mid-30s, but a wonderful performance in the Falun World Championships. Her first ever major medal, and indeed an achievement which far exceeded anything that she'd previously done in a World Cup. So Johaug and Kalle, Norway, Sweden, Norway, Bjørgen, Norway, Jakobsen. And these four moving on, and Johaug continues to turn the screw. .9 kilometers, and 8 just going through the picture there, trying to get up to them. Elizabeth Stephen hasn't had quite the season that we thought she might have, but the American women overall, tremendous performance from them as a squad. And there you have the differential there, 21 seconds. Astrid Jakobsen becoming detached again as Johaug presses on. Remorseless pressure by Teresa Johaug. Now 26 years of age, coached by Egil Christiansen, and this woman who comes into the finale of the World Cup. Third place overall behind Heidi Weng. Heidi Weng, who had a sensational second place finish in the sprint in Drammen, in which Marit Bjørgen was in third place behind the Olympic champion Maika Kaspersen-Faller. Just to perhaps look at one or two of the athletes who are further behind. Østberg, she's down in 13th place, about 23 seconds back. The Swedish sprinter Ida Ingemarsdotter, 24 seconds back. Krista Parmakoski, you might remember her, Lahtenmäki, before she got married, 25 seconds back. Kerttu Niskanen, 28 seconds back. Maiken Kaspersen-Faller, the winner in Drammen on Wednesday, 29 seconds off the lead. And meanwhile, the front three getting away from Jakobsen, as you can see. Jakobsen made a great attempt. There she is in the distance to close up. And Kalle determined not to let these two Norwegians have their own way. Now, certainly Bjørgen will be the fastest of the three if it ever came down to a sprint, and Kalle will be very mindful of that. Jakobsen still with good form there. This would be quite something for Charlotte Kalle if she could lift the 30-kilometer race here. As I explained a little earlier, you've got to go back to 2008 when Shevchenko of the Ukraine last won a 30-kilometer race here. And since then, it's been all Norway. Charlotte Kalle, who was outside the top 30 in Sochi in the 30-kilometer freestyle, and now they've completed the first loop. They have the opportunity to change their skis once, but only once in the remainder of the race. And now coming uphill here. over the bridge. A chance to get some more refreshment, get some more liquid into them. Kalle says yes, so does Johaug, so does Bjørgen. And there, Jakobsen just coming on to the bridge as the others spin right-handed down now. Is anybody thinking about a ski change at the moment? I don't think so. I'd be surprised because they all seem to be running pretty well. And the first three say, no, thank you, we don't need to change our skis. 13.3, so getting ever closer to half distance, and it's Sweden, Norway, Norway. And predictably, the three who figured in the top of the bookmakers' rankings dominating the race. Astrid Jakobsen in fourth place, so 3 Norwegians in the top 4, 4 Norwegians in the top 5, 5 Norwegians in the top 6, 6 Norwegians in the top 7, and then you see Nicole Fessel, and here comes Greg, Caitlin Gregg through, and 22 seconds, and then the bigger chasing group here. Could be Armonier, in fact, not Armonier, but 1 or 2 coming in here now to change their skis. So 10, that is Kerttu Niskanen. Clearly, she's not been happy. 29, that was Nathalie von Siebenthal, deciding that it was time. And 24 going through, that's Laura Mononen for Finland. And that's cost them a good 20 seconds. So Charlotte Kalle, Theresa Johaug and Bjørgen well away. So Theresa Johaug, 7 World Cup wins in her career compared to the 67 for Marit Bjørgen. There's quite a discussion over exactly how many victories Marit Bjørgen has achieved, because by some people it's more than 90. There's 2 ways of counting it, and the confusion is actually caused about the competitions such as the Tour de Ski, where not every race is counted as a victory, which I think is pretty silly. A race is a race, and if she wins it, then it should count as a race, even though it's integral within an overall competition, such as the Kusamo Triple or the Tour de Ski. Astrid Jakobsen a little bit on her own here. But Astrid, I think, a great season for her, anchoring the women's 4x5 Norwegian relay team to a gold medal. Well, not anchoring them, actually, she did the 3rd leg. Bjørgen did the last leg, but a gold medal for her in that particular race, and a really good result. And of course, a silver medal for Astrid Jakobsen, out of your picture at the moment in the women's skiathlon, and that was a major medal for her to win that race, the 15-kilometer skiathlon, a distant silver medal. That's quite an achievement for Astrid. So Johaug now takes on the work, and Bjørgen right behind her. Now Kalle getting a little bit of a rest, needs to stay on the ski tails of Bjørgen. She's done her bit for the moment. And where is Johaug going to try to break? If you rewind and think of the 2011 World Championships, it was a remarkable performance by Johaug, who just burst away on an overcast, cloudy day, but almost eclipsed the fantastic achievements of Marit Bjørgen in those World Championships in 2011. I mean, Bjørgen, who'd won the 10-kilometer classic, won the pursuit, won the sprint, and in one race, Therese Johaug became arguably the darling of the Norwegian fans, particularly the royal family. Hugs and kisses from Queen Sonja and King Harold, and Marit Bjørgen's amazing achievements were almost forgotten for that moment in time. So now these three, Charlotte Kalla just a little bit detached there, needs to close up again. Needs to be quite careful and quite alert, Charlotte Kalla, to the sort of injection of pace. And you can see that injection of pace going in here from Johaug, ups the tempo. That's the characteristic tempo that we got to know, well, as far back as 2007 in the World Championships, when she won her first major championship medal, a bronze in the 30-kilometer classic style. And Astrid Jacobsen, this is just really hard, trying to stay clear of this little posse that are following her, and they've got her as a target. Jacobsen, now 28 years of age, really took on a big task trying to combine medical studies with her racing. Her parents both in the medical profession, but of course Astrid Jacobsen, who's had some awful injuries, and that's why this season is such a success for her, no matter what happens here today. She lies in the overall World Cup rankings. Astrid Jacobsen, you won't find her figuring too highly. She's down in 20th place, but she's focused on big, important races. And Johaug continues to press, and Kalla looking okay. Half distance. Now, just looking at the last checkpoint, we had Jacobsen about 11 seconds back. Here she is, and you can see that the injection of pace by Therese Johaug has doubled the deficit, more than that in terms of Jacobsen, as she comes to the timing line there, and now 31 seconds back. So unless something untoward happens, the front three look as if they're going to be the ones who will fill and occupy the podium. That group skiing together there of Weng and Hagen and Haga and Greg doing a good job, and Eva Ntova of the Czech Republic, always a good athlete at this sort of distance, wears 17, was 9th in the recent World Championship. She was 7th here a year ago, and once again Johaug puts the pressure on again. Just chooses this little uphill to test out Bjørgen and to test out Kalla, and it's really difficult to respond to this sort of injection of pace that Johaug puts in. It really does make the race quite unrhythmical, reminiscent of what one or two Kenyan runners used to do on the track. And it's up to Bjørgen, who's shadowing her very closely. Bjørgen's tactics will be to stay with Johaug and take her on in the sprint, but here comes the sprint again. This is why Johaug's put it in. So she gains another 3 points over Bjørgen. Kalla now stretched out there. Now this is where Bjørgen may try to actually accelerate away. Need to get back to see Therese Johaug, because Astrid Jakobsen holding on to 4th place, but it's Johaug who we really want to see, because after leading across the sprint line there, 4 sprints in all for the women, and Johaug has won every one of them so far. It just looked to me as if Johaug was trying to open up, as you see Stephen and Vang and Fessel. Greg also in that group, or just off the back of it, as you can see. So you sense that Johaug thinking in her mind that this is the moment when she wants to break away from Marit Bjørgen. Well, whilst we deserted you there, Therese Johaug, after winning that sprint, tried to break away from Marit Bjørgen, but Marit Bjørgen really tough and wouldn't let her get away, and you can see has clawed her way back. Johaug at one point had an advantage of 10 to 15 meters, and Bjørgen has chased her hard and is sticking to her. She knows Johaug's tactics, but that move by Johaug, it's disposed of Charlotte Kalla, who's now racing in 3rd place, and it's down to these 2 Norwegians. And it's just worth recognizing that when you look at the overall World Cup rankings, Bjørgen in 1st place, Heidi Weng 2nd, Johaug is 3rd, Ørsberg is 4th, Hager is 5th, Balla is 6th, and the top 6 places occupied by Norwegians. And if that's the way it finishes, which is most likely, that is unprecedented. No nation has dominated the World Cup in the first 6 places like that. And here is Kalla trying to get back. Kalla starts today in 8th place in the World Cup rankings, but she really focused on her preparations for the World Championships. Astrid Jakobsen in 4th place. And this duel, we've seen so many between Marit Bjørgen. Astrid Jakobsen coming round, passes the royal box as she goes through the Durchgang on her left-hand side, the royal box. And the crowd were amazing yesterday, supporting those who were really going well, the likes of Dario Colonia and Shurota, and supporting others who were finding it hard, hitting the wall. Jakobsen 44 seconds, that's another 10 seconds that she's lost on the front 2 and front 3 because of the injection of pace by Therese Johaug. There are the 2 Americans going through, Elizabeth Stephen and Caitlin Gregg, who are virtually together. Over 60 seconds the difference now. Kotu Niskanen, who changed her skis at the last rotation, has not really made up the deficit, and Parmakoski at the moment I've got as the best of the Finns. And back to this duel, this head-to-head duel. 34-year-old Marit Bjørgen, who will become 35. Her birthday is on Saturday. And Johaug, 26 years of age, she'll be 27 in June. Charlotte Kalla out on her own now. This is a difficult journey for the 27-year-old whose birthday comes up in July. Based out of Sundsvall. So, shoulder to shoulder, and what Marit is trying to do is to just dishearten Therese Johaug. Goes ahead, has dealt with all the pressure that Johaug has thrown at her. Bjørgen, who came away from the World Championships. She said she was feeling a little bit under the weather. But in Lahti did the weekend double, proved to herself that she was actually better than she thought she was. Only third in Drammen though, but that kept her drive going. And just thinking about those crystal globes, Marit Bjørgen, pretty certain in my book to win all those crystal globes. As I said, only something extraordinary will deny her the distance globe, and that means the overall, the distance and the sprint. It'll be just the second time in her career that she wins all of those globes in a single season, and she surely would be the first athlete to do that or achieve that feature for a second time. But this is fascinating, isn't it? Therese Johaug knows that she wouldn't want to leave this down to a final sprint. Through 20 kilometers for the front two, and one or two who've decided that they can't or couldn't finish the race. Celia Armonier for France and Anna Haug for Sweden, two who pulled out, and also Anne Kalva from Norway, one of the outsiders, and Bjørgen presses on. Marit Bjørgen, you also have to remember what a season this has been for her. Not only is she destined to win those 3 crystal globes, she also won the Tour de Ski and was delighted, as she put it, at her age, to come back and win the women's gold medal in the classic sprint at the World Championships, and anchoring the team to a gold medal in the relay. Her 2 high points didn't really get on particularly well in the distance races, particularly the 10-kilometer freestyle. That wasn't her day. And then in the 30-kilometer finale, a silver medal, so 2 golds and a silver for Magic Marit. And the group with Elizabeth Steven and Heidi Weng and Martinette Hagen and Ragnhild Haga and Nicole Fessel, all about 70-odd seconds behind, and their differential to Jakobsen would be about 22 seconds, as the 2 main actors on this stage on this beautiful Sunday morning come back into the stadium complex. And the noise, absolutely wonderful here as they come in. They're looking to complete some 23 kilometers, almost 24 kilometers, so not far to go. Marit Bjørgen accelerating up the climb, Johaug right behind her. And Bjørgen really tough. The strength of her upper body is just amazing. The power that she has, and the physique between these two. Look at the difference there. Johaug just pressing on a little bit as Marit takes a little bit more time to take in the liquid, and happy just to tuck in behind at the moment, behind Therese Johaug. And I wonder how that breakaway and then Marit's closing up to Johaug, I wonder how Johaug felt about that mentally? Did that disturb her, concern her? An athlete like Marit Bjørgen, absolutely dedicated, fantastic attention to detail. And if she wins this, then it's going to crown another remarkable season. And good as Johaug is, and she is extremely good, well, I know we're only in March, but if anybody in all of those competitions towards the end of 2015 are thinking of the best female woman athlete in any sport of the year 2015, surely Bjørgen's name has to be in the mix. 3 titles in the World Cup, the Tour de Ski, 2 gold medals at the World Championship. An amazing season. So here come the chasing group. Nobody going for fresh skis at this stage. And leading, this is group number 3, so to speak. Elizabeth Stephen up there, wearing bib number 8, 9 behind her. Hagen, then 3, Heidi Weng, 9 in there. Hagen. The leaders through now 22 kilometers. Therese Johaug from Marit Bjørgen. Just a few hundreds separating them. 27 seconds back to Charlotte Kaller. And then Jakobsen 47 seconds off. And then Elizabeth Stephen leading a group which includes Martine Hagen, Heidi Weng, Ragnhild Haga, Nicole Fessel, Caitlin Gregg. And they are between 1 minute 21 and 1 minute 39 off the leading duo. Just behind them, Maria Rydqvist for Sweden, 1:53 off. Sofia Blekor, 1:54. Maika Kaspersen Faller, the out-and-out sprinter, you would think, 1:54 off. Eva Neviltova of the Czech Republic, 1:54. Corinne Thomas Hugh for France, 1:54. Jess Diggins, 1:54. So, Marit Bjørgen deciding that she's not going to allow Therese Johaug to dictate as she has done on so many occasions. Johaug, who won here in 2013 in freestyle. And that was after her success in 2011 in the World Championships. Kaller still looking pretty solid in 3rd place. 20 seconds separating Kaller and Jakobsen. And over in Majev, the women's moguls underway on Eurosport 2. But why would you want to leave the Holmenkollen? Jakobsen, she's got Kaller in her sights now. The motivation for Astrid Jakobsen is double. The opportunity to maybe give Norway a clean sweep in the final race of the season, and Astrid Jakobsen will be well aware of that. There's nothing I think Jakobsen can do at all about the front 2, but Kaller is now in her sights, and Kaller over the distances here won't necessarily have the strongest of finishes, and we know that Astrid Jakobsen can produce a sprint finish. So I can see Jakobsen trying to close the gap, close the 20 seconds, and then sit on the shoulder of Kaller and try to out-sprint her towards the end of the race to give Norway a clean sweep. 1, 2, 3 here in this famous stadium. And Kaller just making this left-hand turn. Where's Jakobsen? She won't be far behind. There she is, and you can see now she's got this determination. She's getting slightly more extension there on every skating step. Shortens up as you hit the uphill climb. Increase the tempo, but shorten the stride, and Kalle will be getting the split. She will be well aware that Jakobsen is after her. Meanwhile, Bjørgen waiting to see what Johaug's going to do. 6.2 kilometers to go. This has been a wonderful Holmenkollen weekend. The festival has been tremendous. There's one more event, of course, to come, and that's the big hill ski jumping, and it could see Severin Freund almost wrap up the World Cup ski jumping title for 2015. All focus on the cross-country trail. And well inside the final 8,385 meters, the journey that they do 3 times, made up of 2 loops. Lots of the audience here with their iPads and spectators who've been following the race. And Charlotte Kalle now again on the climb. Jakobsen just getting that little bit closer. Now let's try and have a little check on this. Jakobsen, they were separated by 20 seconds. Coming to the timeline now. So 39 back, so Kalle losing time to the front 2, and Jakobsen trying to raise the tempo, and the difference there is actually 10 seconds, so she's halved the deficit. Jakobsen to Kalle. Needs to keep this drive on. Obviously, Jakobsen using that much more energy to try and get on terms with Kalle, and the chasing pack after Jakobsen were 1:21 off the pace. There's Hagen on the right, on the left Elisabeth Steven in there also. Heidi Weng wearing 3, 4. That's Ragnhild Haga, and also with them for Germany, that's Nicole Fessel. On for another solid race. Johaug goes ahead of Bjørgen and decides that this is the moment where she must try to break her great arch rival, but Bjørgen will have none of it. And every time Johaug does this, and every time she fails to succeed, the edge goes back to Bjørgen. 5.4 kilometers for them to go up to this Audi Quattro sprint line. Johaug yet again crossing the sprint line all the time ahead of Bjørgen. Kalle was 39 seconds back the last time we saw her, and Jakobsen 49, and Jakobsen getting a heck of a lot of support from the Norwegian spectators, as you might expect. So there's Jakobsen in the distance. The camera foreshortens a little bit. It was 39 seconds, so the pace up front, that's the difference here. So from 39 seconds, Kalle now 47 seconds, so 8 seconds lost there. Now Astrid Jakobsen, she was 10 seconds behind, and now she's what, 8 seconds behind. Tantalizingly close. The chasing pack led by Elisabeth Steven. The last time we saw them, they were 1:21, they're now 1:30 behind. And Nicole Fessel starts to lead the chase here, 1:30. And they've lost another 7-8 seconds as well. Just to the back there, Ragnhild Haga. Ragnhild, only 24 years of age, and in recent seasons, not this season, but in the last couple of seasons, skiathlon gold medals at under 23 level, and also 10-kilometer freestyle gold at under 23 championships. Therese Johaug tries yet again to get away from Marit Bjørgen. Magic Marit says, no, you don't. So, once again, another 3 points to Therese Johaug, but Marit's not worried about that. Well, there are not going to be too many more opportunities for Therese Johaug to break Marit Bjørgen. But Marit Bjørgen trying to break the spirit of Therese Johaug, who ups the tempo again. Marit just out of that soft snow, just raising that left ski a little high, but she stays where she needs to be. This is the best place for her, tucked in behind. Swing down, and Marit just a little more open, very confident about her skis. She's had wonderful service from her service crew all through this season pretty well, Marit Bjørgen. Just the odd day when it hasn't worked. And look at Jakobsen now closing up now, and the coaches are saying, yes, you can do this, you can get ahead of Charlotte Kalla, you can make this a 1-2-3 for Norway. 7 seconds, it's down to 2 or 3 now. Jakobsen, how are her skis running in the aerodynamic tuck? Will this take her a little bit closer? Meanwhile, Johaug shadowed by Bjørgen. One more loop as they come round here, and 2 great finishes in prospect for first and second, for gold and silver, and also for third place on the podium. They go out as Jakobsen and Kalla. Jakobsen pursuing Kalla. Look at this on the glide. And Jakobsen, now what's her tactic going to be? She's just edged ahead of Kalla. It might be just to conserve, get some oxygen into her lungs, having made up that distance. Is she going to try to move away? The one great thing for Astrid Jakobsen is that silver medal in the skiathlon. Charlotte Kalla was only third. She took the bronze, but it's the belief that Astrid Jakobsen has that she can defeat Kalla over a distance, over a sprint, probably almost every day of the week, if not every day of the week. But over distance, it's different. And also because Jakobsen, for so many years, the strength she had very much in terms of the classic races more than the freestyle skating. But that's how much improvement she's made. Elizabeth Stephen skips round here. So into the stadium complex. So, just over 4 kilometers for them, less for these two, and you can see how they're sticking, in many cases, to the shady part there, where the course is not so sugary, not so broken up there. And Johaug really being given a endurance test by Marit Bjørgen. This will be a fantastic piece of revenge for Marit Bjørgen. Owning the silver medal in the World Championships. That was in classic style, this is in freestyle. Johaug, though, if she gets turned over here by Marit Bjørgen, will know just what a great season Marit Bjørgen's had. And this has been a season where Marit Bjørgen has been competitive all the way through to win the Tour de Ski. And when you look at her competition record before today, 27 World Cup races, Marit Bjørgen has actually only missed 4 competitions. So Johaug, Bjørgen looking comfortable behind there. Every time she gets an uphill opportunity, this is where Johaug will be thinking of moving away. Astrid Jacobsen just conserving here, dictating the pace ahead of Kalle. Perhaps thinking to herself that if she can get back to the stadium complex, that's where she can let her skis glide and then move up to out-sprint her in the final 100 meters or so. Needs to be careful because that final climb in the stadium up to the bridge there, that will suit Kalle. Difference in tempo there between Marit Bjørgen and Therese Johaug. Long may these duels continue. Astrid Jacobsen. Clearly with a plan in her mind there. You would think that Kalle has the best position, just sitting in behind, ready to attack and watching the body language of Jacobsen, seeing if there's any sign of weakness. And look at the advantage here, 49.50 seconds. And actually, Kalle and Jacobsen not travelling much slower than the front two now, because both competitions are a little cat and mouse here. So Bjørgen less than 2.5 kilometers to go for the front two. They'll be racing now, and here goes the big attack here now. Bjørgen on the right of your picture there, taking on Johaug and saying, this is where I can go, this is where I can defeat you. And look at Bjørgen, absolutely out sprinting. That is Bjørgen at her historical best. This is where she has, for so many years, been so dominant, choosing an uphill climb. How many times have we seen that in the sprint? And she's got away from Johaug. And she goes right-handed, comes onto the terrace, the big ski jumping hill to her left. She'll take no notice of that, but a 5-second advantage, wanting to get away from Johaug as she turns left-handed now to enter the stadium. Johaug left in second place. Bjørgen now to drop down to get one last rest into her, just taking the oxygen in before she does the final climb. Johaug could do nothing about this, and Marit Bjørgen, deciding a kilometre from home that this was the time to move, has the whole track to herself. Johaug trying to close up, but you wouldn't put any money on her from here on in, because Bjørgen's sprinting power will see her home. And Johaug has been dominated by Magic Marit. And so she comes over the bridge, turns right, drops down to the little roller coaster, and then will push on. And here she is, approaching her 35th birthday, the winner of the overall World Cup, the winner of the Sprint World Cup, the winner of the Distance World Cup, the winner of the Tour de Ski. 2 gold medals, the sprint gold and the relay gold and a silver medal over 30 kilometers. 2015 belongs to Marit Bjørgen, the outstanding female cross-country skier in the world, and she takes a 5th success here in Oslo. And Teresa Johaug knows that she is very much second best, and meanwhile Astrid Jacobsen predictably has sprinted away from Charlotte Kalla to make this a finale clean sweep for Norway. And this means for Astrid Jacobsen a wonderful finish for her. She finishes with her 2nd podium of the season, and Norway in the overall World Cup have taken 1st place with Bjørgen, 2nd place with Beng, 3rd place with Johaug, 4th place with Østberg, 5th place with Haga, 6th place with Falla, and Charlotte Kalla coming in now to be the best of the rest. But she knows that Norway's women have been irresistible, and Kalla, well, she got her reward by focusing on the women's 10-kilometer freestyle race, and in that she got the goal she was searching for. But look at the Norwegians piling home here ahead of Nicole Fessel, and the sprint is on, and look at this, 3 more coming home, and who gets it? Beng ahead of Haga, ahead of Hagen. Well, what can you say? We just so need a word with Marit Bjørgen to sum up what has been an unbelievable season for her. The 2nd time she's won all the Crystal Globes here. The Swedes sprinting in here. Elizabeth Steven, a very good race, the best of the Americans. And after Charlotte Kalla into the finish, Rydquist after Elizabeth Steven, and after her it's Sophie Blecourt, and then Caroline Tomasiuk for France, the best for her country. Eva Niviltova for the Czech Republic in 13th place. Jess Diggins in 14th, 2:44 off. Pretty well tied together. Micah Kaspersen Falla for Norway. And the crowd have really played their part. Another of the Americans was Caitlin Gregg, a bronze medal at the World Championships. And that'll be her favourite memory of the season. Ida Ingemarsdotter for the Swedes. And a wonderful finale to the season. And Ingvild Flugstad Østberg, the 2nd best sprinter of the season. Behind, of course, Marit Bjørgen. A 2nd good race over 30,000 meters for her. Just worth reflecting, the Norwegians occupying the first 3 places in the Sprint World Cup as well. Slind ahead of Kilonen and Mononen for Finland. Bonner for Switzerland, and another Swiss finish here. Nathalie von Siebenthal. Well, Marit Bjørgen, a winner here, 2005, 2010, 2012, 2014, and now 2015. And a cheer there for Katrin Harsem across the line. Such is the strength in depth of the Norwegian women's squad. We're going to take a little break, catch our breath, and then come back to wrap up this 30-kilometer race. And I so hope that we can get a word with Marit Bjørgen. And another Norwegian, this is Sia Theodorsson for Norway, winning that little local sprint. Saarinen of Finland, well, she was a winner of Oslo 2007 in Classic Star, but she's not figured at today's races. And just a reminder that Claudia Neustadt of Germany and also Celine Brunli of Norway, they end their careers here at the end of the 2015 season. We'll take a break and then be back to wrap up the Women's World Cup for 2015. Well, the crowd are just amazing, helping everybody home here. And next year, here in Holmenkollen, the Biathlon World Championships will be organised, staged and celebrated. And if they have this weather and they have this atmosphere, then it'll be a wonderful championships for the biathletes who seem to have been a little lost out there in eastern Finland in Kontiolahti this season. But I'm sure it'll be very different here in Holmenkollen. So a wonderful exhibition of dueling by Therese Johaug and Marit Bjørgen, but at the end of the day, Bjørgen absolutely the top athlete of the day and of the season, by 11 seconds ahead of Johaug. Jakobsen giving Norway a clean sweep, 44 seconds back, denying Charlotte Kalla 1 minute and 5 seconds off the pace. Then Heidi Beng, then Hagra for Norway, then Hagen, then the best for Germany, Nicole Fessel. A decent race in 8th place for her. The best for America, Elizabeth Stevens, 2 minutes and 6 seconds back. The best for Sweden, Maria Rydqvist. Here is
you're the first female to ever win it 2 years in a row. Really impressive on that final climb.
Yeah, it was very hard. Therese was very strong in the first time and the second time in Frognersetra, and she got a little bit gap to me, but I had perfect skis and take the second downhill. And it seems that Therese was also getting a little bit tired, and then I really hope something. And I know that they have a good finish, so, but you have 30 kilometers in your legs, so you never know, but it was perfect, so yeah.
To go along with your victory today, you also get to take home 3 Crystal Globes for the second time in your career. What a season, especially to end with a win like this.
Yeah, it has been an incredible season. The Tour de Ski and all 3 Globes has been a goal for me, and when I see that this was possible. I was a little bit not so happy with the world champion. It could be a little bit better on some distance, but yeah, it has an incredible season, so I'm very, very happy.
It's good you live close to home, so you don't have to fly with the Globes tomorrow.
Yeah, it's easier to take them home now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a privilege to follow the exploits of Marit Bjørgen, and indeed all the Norwegians, Therese Johaug as well, but this woman is special. Very, very special. Rarely do you get an athlete who is able to master the distances and master so many competitions within a single season. It says a lot for her preparation. It says a lot for her dedication, but her ability and belief and her mental strength, as well as her physical strength, is just remarkable. So she takes all the World Cups, overall, distance and sprint. The Tour de Ski, 2 gold medals in the World Championships. It doesn't get much better than that, and how will she possibly do better than that in 2016? But what a birthday she can celebrate next Saturday. 35 years young, Marit Bjørgen, still the woman to beat when it comes to cross-country racing. Well, just a chance for you to pick out your favourites and to see where they finished today. 1 hour, 14 minutes and 10 seconds. Not the quickest of 30 kilometres, but remember, softish conditions in various sections of the course. But a great achievement there. And we should be able to catch up hopefully very shortly with the World Cup standings, and also to appreciate what the Norwegian women's squad have achieved today. Now, just looking at the points, actually, Therese Johaug was very close to Heidi Weng, and of course she's got more points than Heidi Weng today, so it could well be unofficially that Johaug goes up to second, overtakes Heidi Weng, then Østberg in Østberg and Haga. I think they'll stay in the same places, and Maika Kaspersen-Faller in 6th place, clear ahead of Denise Herman, the best of the international racers, but Kalla will probably overtake her because she was in 8th place before today began, and it'll probably be Sweden, Kalla in 7th and Herman in 8th. We're waiting for those pictures, but here you can see the moment that Bjørgen broke away from Therese Johaug and came home to rapturous applause, and the applause from the royal box. And it'll be another greeting, another meeting of Marit Bjørgen and His Majesty King Harold. But that is the tradition when you win here in Holmenkollen, whether it's a World Cup, whether it's a World Championship. Well, Norway will occupy the first 6 places. I hope you've enjoyed this finale. For myself, David Goldstrom, and the Nordic team, bye-bye from Holmenkollen.